Good morning, gorgeous. How are you ladies doing this morning? I hope you're all doing wonderful. I know it's been a while since I've done a solo video, but I told you that I will continue doing solo content because I know that information is powerful. And some of this content I have on my podcast. So if you enjoy the content that I'm doing by myself, you can listen to my podcast, A Feminine Impression. I'm Dr. Daff, and today we're talking about elegance, how to be an elegant woman. I have tons of material on femininity, and I often believe that femininity and elegance get paired together when they really are two separate things. Being elegant is more of a demeanor. Being feminine is leaning into your womanhood, and there are certain characteristics and traits that bring out a part of your nature. But they are different. Elegance is intertwined in femininity, but it is a stand-alone way of looking and behaving. Being elegant is a demeanor. It's not based on your physical appearance. It's not necessarily based on the kinds of clothes that you wear and wearing designer things or expensive things. It's about the way that you carry yourself, and it's about the intention that you put into your appearance. When we think about elegance, I want you to think about nature. So imagine waves, okay? We're talking soft, we're talking slow, we're talking movement that's beautiful, slow, and intentional. So waves are soft, they kind of come up and they come down. They just sort of drift as the water glistens with the sunlight. Versus an earthquake. Okay, an earthquake is rigid, it's fast, it's loud, right? But it's loud in a way that's not soothing. And so that's what elegance is, it's flow. When we think about elegance in dance, you can think of ballet. The movements are slow, but they're thoughtful. Versus karate. It may be the same kick, like a ballerina kicks, but with karate, it's going to be more sharp. It's going to be fast. So elegance is really about softness, about flow, about movement and intentionality. Rain falling down from the sky, a candle's wick blowing slowly. This is elegance. It's the small things. It's the things that help you to relax, the things that help you to feel seen but subdued. And less is more. When it comes to elegance, if there's one thing you remember, it's that less is more. You don't need to do a whole lot to be elegant. When you think about an elegant woman, it's the simplicity in her beauty that makes her elegant. So my content, when I first began creating it, was geared towards women who didn't have the role models to teach them about how to show up as a woman. And I've always had a heart for women who grew up in areas of poverty, who maybe didn't have female role models, who lived in foster homes, or women who live in rural areas or live in villages or in the rainforest or just somewhere where they don't have the people to teach them things about the life that they may want to live that might be very separate from how they grew up. So this is who my content is for. I'm not in any way saying that this is the best way to be and this is how you have to be. But for those who are seeking this information because you grew up in a way that feels separate from the person that you feel like you really should be, this is for you. And I know from consuming YouTube that a lot of these videos on elegance can sometimes seem quite condescending and can come off in a way where people are creating content to help, but they're looking down on you. And I just want you to know that that is not the intention here. This is truly to teach you so that you can be at a store or you can look at your closet and you can understand how to present the way that you feel you want to. The first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to elegance is your confidence. Your confidence is what's going to present before you even start speaking. If you're walking into a room, the way that you walk into it can be either a way where you look like you are uncomfortable, you are not self-assured, or you can look like you are full of joy, that you are optimistic, and that's what shows up first. And when a woman is elegant, she shows up in a way that's confident and assured in who she is. And this can be very difficult to gain if you're someone who struggles with self-image or who has experienced trauma or things in life where you just don't feel like you are the woman that you want to be yet. But there are things that you can do to help you to become more confident. And a lot of that is by looking within, by learning about yourself, learning about your culture, where you're from, what your name means, learning about the things that you've experienced and how they affect you. Those things are going to help you to feel assured in who you are. But as an elegant woman, there are also things that you can do that can just help you to feel like you can maneuver through a room. And those are doing things like being cultured, going to plays, and doing things that are outside of the norm. So maybe you would just go to the movies or you would just watch Netflix at home, but instead going outside of your normal comfort zone and doing things that can make you laugh, can make you cry, and being in spaces with different kinds of people. When you go see a play, you'll realize that there's a different culture with the kinds of people who visit plays. And those people tend to be more elegant. They're more well-read, well-learned. They visit museums and art shows, and they know about different things in life. If you're a woman who is closed-minded to other cultures, including your own, it will be very difficult to present as confident. If you're open to eating at restaurants that are not from your culture, maybe going to try Indian food and Thai food and Vietnamese food and Sudanese food and all of these different places to kind of get an understanding of how different people enjoy food, how food is made and created in different parts of the world. All of these things will add to your elegance. Elegance comes in a way where you are not looking down on people, but you're accepting, you're open, you have manners, you care that people are different and you celebrate that, right? So you can meet a girl on the street who's 9 years old and she can be the most elegant little girl because of the way that she presents, because she's already confident at 9 years old and she smiles and she has good manners. She says thank you, she says please, she looks at you in the eye when she's speaking to you. Those things are what show up on her. And you may look at this little girl and think, wow, she's only 9 years old, but this girl's gonna go somewhere, right? Because of the way that she shows up. So it's not about your age. You can be elegant at 5 years old. You can be elegant at 100 years old. It's not about your age and it's not about where you live. This little girl could live in a very rough neighborhood and still there's something inside of her that just says, I want to be different. I'm not like everyone around me, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. And showing up as who she really is. And that confidence is what helps you to be elegant no matter what it is that you're wearing. So if you're looking to be more elegant, then I would encourage you to be more well-read and more cultured and incorporate manners into your daily life. So that way, when you do show up in spaces, you feel like the woman that you really are and not like you're pretending. When we talk about elegance in terms of the way that you dress, this is something that there's so much content on YouTube. But I want to just bring it back in by saying that when you're dressing in a way where you want to appear elegant, less is more. Simplicity is more. So it's not necessarily about dressing in a way where you're wearing very expensive clothes or you're wearing things that are very flashy and bold. Now, if that's your personal style, if you like to be glamorous and flashy and that sort of thing, that's fine. And in different cultures, different garments are elegant and they may be more ornate or more bold and bright or patterned. So there's not like a specific look that means you're elegant. It's really about how you wear it, how your clothes drape on your body. If you're wearing clothing that's very tight, hugging every single part of your body, or if your breasts are popping out of your clothes, those things are not going to look elegant because they are not giving you room to breathe. There's no mystery, and it's more like your clothes are screaming out for something versus just being a part of you. So if you're looking to dress more elegant, I would say start with your clothes just being clean, wearing clothes that are clean, that are ironed, where you look like you are neat and that you actually put thought into what you're going to wear. You don't have to have expensive clothes to look elegant, right? But there are some clothing materials that just present as more elegant because of the way that they move. So clothes like silk, things that are high shine, right? Silk and satin. When you wear silk and satin, typically you're going to look more elegant just because of the way the clothing drapes and moves on your body. And if you're looking for certain colors, there are colors that look more elegant than others, just depending on your own skin tone. Everyone looks different. We all look different. We all have different shades of skin. So it is difficult to say wear these colors and you're going to look elegant, because it may not work out that way for you, depending on what your skin looks like. So for some people, they can wear black and you can say black is very elegant, which it is, but some people, black looks very overwhelming on them. It's too stark of a difference, too stark of a contrast. And that contrast is too much for their makeup. And it may just not go with your personality, right? Some people black is just not their color. And for other people, black looks so chic, it looks so classy and so elegant on them. So you have to do what works for you. You have to take the time and go through your wardrobe and figure out what you authentically feel the most beautiful, the most confident, and the prettiest in, and not just wear what people online are telling you looks elegant, because the truth is there's no color that looks elegant. It's really the hue that it's in and how that works with your skin. There are some people who have the sentiment of when you wear neutral colors, you look more elegant. And I think that's just because neutral colors tend to give off like this rich or like a modern look, whether it's in furniture or wherever. Neutral colors tend to do that. But truly, colors that are more rich look more elegant, in the sense that they have like a certain depth to them, or the texture of it. Like if you're wearing velvet, or if you have velvet clothing, or like this couch, right? The color and the material together is what's going to give you the elegant look you're looking for. It's not just the color, and it's not just the material. So if you're looking to add more elegance into your wardrobe, you can think of getting more silk and more satin and cashmere, things that are soft, okay, instead of fabrics that are really rough and stark. Now, those fabrics can work with certain pieces of clothing. So if you want to have a blazer, or you want a really structured bag, you will look for things that are a little bit more of a rougher texture. It all depends on what you're going for. Dresses usually look very elegant. Like, that's easy. If you want to look more elegant and you don't own any dresses, I would definitely recommend getting some dresses into your wardrobe, things that fit with your body. It's not just a one size fits all when it comes to dresses either. Necklines are important. Low necklines, high necklines, they all work depending on the dress. Typically, if you want to look that it's just like easy, slam dunk, elegant, high necklines work. Turtlenecks, things that just kind of go all the way up. But again, it could look funny on you depending on how big or small your head is, right? In comparison to your shoulders and all of that. So again, it's not a one size fits all. It really is about simplicity. And that's what I want you to focus more on, is the quality of your clothing. Buying higher quality clothing if you can, but if you cannot at this time, at least allowing your clothing to be in colors that don't look as cheap. Because if you're only able to spend $20 on a shirt, that's okay. You can still buy something nice. But if you buy that shirt, say in like black or white, chances are you won't be able to tell that it's of poor quality. It probably will look the same as a really expensive shirt, at least similar, maybe not the same. Versus if you buy that shirt in green or in blue, because of those colors, sometimes it just shows up more as cheap. So I would say if you are on a budget and you're trying to just change your wardrobe, then yes, probably lean towards blacks and whites and neutrals, because that at least gives you some room to save up for something that is of more quality, because that also does make a difference in how the clothes drape on your body. If you can afford tailoring, I would suggest trying that as well. If you maybe don't want to spend so much, but you're willing to get it fitted to your body, that will also help you just to appear more elegant. But it does come down to the size. So I would also recommend, if you're someone who is wearing clothes that's too tight, try going a size up. try allowing your garments to fit just a little bit more loose on your body, because that allows you just to look a little bit more neat, believe it or not. Things that come off too spandexy and too tight and too frilly oftentimes will cheapen your look. When it comes to jewelry, again, with elegance, less is more. So you really don't need a ton of jewelry to look elegant. You really don't need any jewelry, to be honest. You can just put on some earrings if you like, or you don't have to put on earrings. It's not really about adding things on. It's really more about like showing up and presenting in a really like clean looking way. So you can buy pieces that are just statement in the sense where it shows up, it kind of glistens on your skin, but it's not like a look at me piece. And again, this comes back down to your personal style. So for me personally, I wear very like dainty, small jewelry on a day-to-day. If I'm filming, yeah, I'm usually wearing something a little bit more loud, because on camera, those things really don't show up. But in my day-to-day, I don't wear chunky jewelry. I wear very tiny earrings and like a really thin gold necklace. And that to me is very elegant and simple. Everything with elegance comes down to being understated. But if your personal style is more glamorous, you may want to wear like big shiny diamonds, and you may have like rhinestones all over the place. And although it's nice, it is nice and it's you, if you're not intentional about the way you're wearing it, it may just look like overwhelming on you, and it may not give off the elegant flair that you're hoping for. So playing around with things and not thinking that that's the only way to look elegant is to look glamorous, because glamour is not the same as elegance. They are two completely different styles. Another style of clothing that's very elegant is romantic clothing. So for those of you who enjoy having a romantic essence, those clothing typically look elegant because they have like chiffon and things that are just very see-through and very light. They also have necklines that look more feminine and sometimes give off a very elegant flair, like a heart neckline, or a sort of like an off the shoulder look that can look quite elegant. It all depends on where you're going and what's appropriate. I do hear people saying things like wearing jeans is not elegant. Okay, elegant women don't wear jeans. And that's not true. It's just not true. Now, I think that jeans are appropriate in some circumstances and not in all. It does depend on the way the jeans are cut and whether or not they have like rips and tears and holes and strings and all of that, right? Because typically if the jeans are ornate, they don't look elegant. If they have rhinestones on them, if they have words on them, it does not look elegant. If they're just one solid color and in a cut that is not over the top, it typically looks elegant depending on what you have up top. So you can play around with things. I typically like wearing jeans in one color, whether they're white, black, or a light wash. I think that typically is a slam dunk, but I prefer wearing pants that are a little bit more like structured, but they're not jeans. And one brand that has really cute pants is called Favorite Daughter. I like their pants. I'll put a picture so you can see what they look like. But it also depends on your height. It depends on your body shape. It really depends on you. But I do want to stress that jeans can look elegant depending on what you wear them with. It's also nice if you are someone who is playing with style and you want to look at elegant style, wearing monochromatic looks, wearing one color all the way throughout. So black hat, black shirt, black pants, black shoes, black jacket, right? That always is going to look elegant because it's just simple, but it's intentional. And people tend to do that with all kinds of colors, or just mixing different shades of the same color. If you're wearing green, then it's different like hues of green all the way through, but with colors that actually go together. Just because they're the same color doesn't mean that they actually go together. So it's really about the hue behind it. But that also looks really nice if you're someone who enjoys fashion and playing around with things. Typically, people who do elegant content or who talk a lot about elegance are leaning more into classic style, because classic style is always considered to be elegant. But classic style is not the only way to be elegant. You can be elegant if you have a bohemian style, if you have a romantic style, if you have more of a natural style, or if you lean a lot more young. Okay, if your style is a little bit more structured and you like to wear pants and things that are just kind of like avant-garde, right? Things are just very like bold and big. They can still look elegant. A lot of it really comes down to the way everything is paired together, including your hair. Your hairstyle does make a very big difference on how everything looks. If your hair is not groomed and it's not intentionally done, it can ruin everything else you have on because it just won't look put together anymore. So taking time to actually do your hair and maybe not even wear anything that's of note will help you to look elegant. Clean hair, clean skin, clean nails, and that's really all you need in terms of the outer appearance. And yes, I do want to talk about nails because unfortunately, some women really struggle with this in terms of keeping their hygiene appropriate and keeping their nails done. Your nails do not have to be painted. Okay, you can have no nail polish on your nails. It's not important. It's whether or not your nails are clean. So ensuring that you're washing your hands and trimming your nails and filing them and just keeping them looking neat. Your hands are something that people pay attention to, as they should, because it tells a lot about the way you live your life. And if you want to be more elegant, you are going to have to pay attention to all of your personal hygiene, starting with your hands. When it comes to your makeup, less is more. So when you are trying to look elegant, you don't need a lot of makeup. You really just need something for complexion, just to look even, and something on your lips or some mascara. Going overboard with like bold and bright eyeshadows and blushes, and a lot of times we dress in a way like we're on stage performing just to go down to the store. Like you look like you're at the opera and you're the one singing. And that's just because of the way that trends have influenced women, where we feel like if we don't have on foundation, concealer, blush, lipstick, lip liner, lip gloss, fake lashes, eyebrows, I mean, if we don't have every single thing, that we don't have our makeup done, like we don't look nice. And doing that so much makes it difficult to look at yourself when you don't have makeup on and think that you're beautiful still, right? And personally, like if I'm on camera like this, yes, I have a full face of makeup because that's what's needed for content. But on my day-to-day, I actually don't wear anything but a little bit of concealer and lip gloss or lipstick, and that's it. I don't even do my eyebrows because it's not necessary. And to be honest, it makes absolutely no difference in my experience in life. It's not like people are saying, oh, you look so beautiful every day when I'm dressed up, and then when I'm not, no one says anything to me, because it's not about the makeup. It's really about the makeup of you as a person, how you are presenting. The one area of makeup I will caution you on in terms of elegance is fake lashes. If you're going to get your lashes done, or if you're going to wear fake eyelashes, wearing the ones that are just so big and in your face, or if your lashes are half on, half off because you don't get your fills done in time and that thing, then yes, it will take away from your elegance. It will be very distracting. If your lashes look like bats, if they're just so dark. I have seen some women who have very light complexions and their false lashes are jet black. That is not elegant. That does not make you look elegant, and it takes away from your beauty. It's one thing when you're trying to add on to your beauty and trying to become more beautiful, but when those things that you're adding on actually make you look less beautiful, that's a problem. Okay, you don't want to go backwards. You're already beautiful. Makeup is literally there only to just highlight your beauty, enhance the beauty in certain ways, but not to be a complete mask over your natural beauty. Okay, and I want to caution you on the false lashes and on the nails, the false nails. If you are someone who gets false nails, it's important that you are intentional about the length and about the designs on your nails, because that can take away from your elegance. Yes, it can look very fun if that's what you're going for, that's fine. But if you're specifically trying to look more elegant, if you're someone who is in a position where maybe you landed a job and you're trying to watch this video because you want to know how to show up so that you don't stand out in a way that's negative, then I would caution you on your nails. The nail length, having nails that are too long, do not look elegant. They may look feminine, they may look fun, but they're not elegant. Elegant nails are typically almost always short, and they can be in whatever shape you like. They can be rounded, they can be square. I would stay away from anything that's like too sharp and pointy or like a coffin style. That's just not as elegant as your nails just being short and manicured. And of course, leaning towards colors that go well with your skin tone and that are not too bold and bright. Now, there is a time and place for that. If you want to have hot pink nails, sure. But is that going to look the most appropriate in every setting, depending on your lifestyle? Probably not. So it takes you also using your own wisdom and your own judgment on where and when you should look a certain way. But in terms of overall looks, less is more. So all you really need is a little bit of makeup, your hair looking neat and put together. Make sure you're doing your hair. Please do your hair. Don't just wake up and walk out of the house. Your clothes being neat, clean, ironed, put together, and maybe one piece of jewelry. Like, I did not need to wear the earrings and the necklace. Like, I really did not need the necklace. And taking off the necklace, taking even off the jacket could look more elegant than actually having as much things as I have on. So it depends on your personal style, but typically less is more. I would look more elegant if I took off the necklace and I took off the jacket. And so it depends on what you like to look like. There's no one size fits all. Something that's also very important if you want to present as a more elegant woman is your poise, your posture. So elegant women are confident and show up in that way, which is immediately seen in the way that you walk into a room, in the way that you sit, your posture and your poise. An elegant woman can breeze through the room slowly and softly, and it's not rushed, it's not forceful, and it just looks intentional. So when you sit, you're not sitting slumped, okay? You're not like looking sloppy, things falling off, hanging off. You look like you are compact, but not stiff. A lot of times that can happen with people who are too elegant, and I see it all the time. Especially people who are teaching people how to be elegant. It's like, just so stiff, and it's like, that's not what elegance looks like. You cannot live your life like a mannequin. Being graceful and moving slowly and fluidly is actually much more elegant than looking stiff and stern and poised and proper and like, all like extra serious. Okay, that's not elegance. Elegance is really about the way that you treat people. If you treat people with kindness and with love, that is beautiful, and that's what helps you to be more elegant. So when you walk out the street, you're bringing the world yourself. You're serving yourself to the world. You're smiling at people. People sometimes will say, well, when you're an elegant lady, you don't speak to everyone. You don't smile at everyone. No one deserves your $1 million smile. And it's like, that's not true. That's not true. When you're an elegant person, you are kind, you are giving, you are loving. And when you're out in the world, you do smile at people. You do say nice things to people. You have manners, and you are happy. You're happy to interact with the world. And that's what brings out your real beauty, not what you're wearing, and not being someone who's sticking to a certain kind of rule book to be accepted in high society. And there are certain things too that are impactful with the way that you show up in society. So if you're someone who is trying to be more elegant, you probably want to make sure that your whole life reflects that. So if you're driving in your car, you're not playing loud, ratchet music, looking so beautiful. And listen, this is something that actually I had to move away from, because there was a time in my life where I was very much like that. Like, I was very elegant, but I also was super into other things. And I remember driving one time and I had on this beautiful dress, and I know I looked very glamorous that day, and I was playing super loud gangster rap music, and this old man pulls up to me and he rolls his window down and he's like, "You are too beautiful to be listening to that kind of music. Something doesn't match." And I just remember thinking, you know what? He's right. I'm not presenting the way that I am. This music is actually interrupting the way that I even feel. right? And it just didn't mesh, it didn't flow. And I realized after a long time that there was certain music that actually was more drawn to as a person that reflected like who I really was and how I really felt, and it impacted the way that I showed up. So it's important that your whole lifestyle matches the person that you really want to be, and you're not so influenced by what the world says that you have to listen to, what the world says you have to have, like in terms of like the way that you walk or your car, your shoes, or your handbag. All those things need to reflect who you actually are, or else it does feel very separate, it looks very separate, and you really don't show up authentically. And the final way that you can include more elegance into your life is the way that you smell. Do not underestimate how important the way you smell is. As a woman who is working on being more feminine and more elegant, scent is important, and a lot of women underestimate this, and it impacts them in ways that they probably don't realize. When you smell a certain way, it can attract people to you. It can attract people to you in a positive way, where you are more beautiful in a sense, not because of what you're wearing, not because of how your hair looks, just because you invited an aroma in their path that lifted them. So they just smelled something that just made them feel good. And people stop me all the time and ask me what I'm wearing. And a lot of times I don't remember what I wore, but I typically wear things that I feel match the mood of the day or what I'm wearing. And when people ask, they really want to know. It's not like they're asking just to ask. Like they want to stop me and find where that fragrance is, and they want to write it down because it impacts them. And it allows them to experience something different. So when we are in this world, we're sensory people, right? We see, we feel, we smell, we are people who listen to our environments, whether it's birds or cars. And what we see, feel, smell, and touch impacts us. So when you're wearing fragrance, it impacts you in terms of how you feel, your confidence, how beautiful you feel. If you're wearing a certain dress and you just want to elevate the mood that you're feeling, then spray on a fragrance that fits, and you will experience a more exciting time in your day in that outfit with whoever you're with. And you will also bring that scent story with you, and it'll be something to remember. So if you are a woman who likes to smell a certain way, maybe you have a signature fragrance, your husband or your child may recognize that and think like, oh, this is how mom smells, or this is how my wife smells. And every time they smell it, it brings back good memories instead of, just smelling like nothing, or maybe even smelling bad. If they're feeling neutral and they give you a hug and they remember, oh man, I remember when we went to Santa Barbara on the beach and she had this on, and it brings that entire memory back. And then in that moment, there's just this extra feeling of comfort and love and affection, more so than if you didn't have any fragrance on. Or you can have different fragrances like I have. I have different fragrances for different times in my life. I'll have a fragrance like for vacations or for certain life events, because when I smell them, it brings me back to that moment. I get to relive that moment. I get to relive that scent story. When I purchase fragrance, I typically like to purchase from smaller like apothecary shops. Although I love a breath of fragrance, I prefer fragrances that are made in smaller batches and that are a little bit more unique and complex. When I buy fragrances that are like in the department stores, typically so many people smell like it, and I like to smell a little bit more, unique. And also, there aren't as many like layers, and I feel like the way that the fragrances are mixed just aren't as luxurious as when I purchase from smaller stores, from smaller perfumeries, and from more niche fragrance shops. So I would recommend, if you're someone who wants to get a signature fragrance, or if you're someone who wants to explore with fragrance, that you shop at places that are a little bit more unique and a little bit smaller in terms of the sizes when they make the fragrances. And I think you'll have a more pleasant experience in finding something that really suits your body chemistry, that mixes well with your natural scent. And speaking of fragrance, this video is sponsored by Fine Forever Fragrances. Fine Forever Fragrances are fragrances that are beautifully made feminine, powerful, seductive, and they're a fragrance with a promise. These fragrances are made in a way that allows you to be able to experience a personal aromatic scent that'll help you be the best smelling woman in the room. Right now, we have three gorgeous fragrances that are sure to elevate your experience as a woman by bringing you beauty, depth, and femininity. So visit findforever.com and you can receive a percentage off of your fragrance. So I hope that this video was helpful in giving you some tips on how to be a more elegant woman. Remember, with elegance, less is more. Take it slow, and there's beauty in simplicity. I do have more information on how to be an elegant woman, not so much focused on the outer appearance, but on the behaviors of an elegant woman. If you want me to create content on that, then let me know in the comments below and I will do a part 2. I thank you all so much for watching this video today. I hope that you're all doing wonderful, and I hope that you are encouraged to know that you can be the woman that you were created to be. It's inside of you. And if there is a pull, if there is a tug that tells you that you're not showing up right now as a woman you really believe you should be, then this is a great way to start. Thank you, and I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.